Alright, I just got a hot tip from a friend that started out as an estate customer. We became friends, and she said, I have found out a little secret honey hole for you, and she said you might want to check it out. So here I am in the rain, but it's inside, so I'll let you know if I find anything. I don't know if I can do any filming inside. We'll just have to see. Cool. So here's what I walked into, and then she had just left. I was supposed to meet her up here, but I didn't, so we'll see what we find. Okay, so I didn't find anything today. She had just left and had sent me a message and said it's mostly bags today, which it was. And I didn't go through the bags. I opened the tops of them without making a mess or anything. You know, I didn't tear them open or anything, because it appeared that people probably had dumped their trash, which several of them had. And I didn't dig all down in the bags, and I don't intend on doing that, but unless I see something right in the top. But there was a end table there. You know, if there was other situations that I was in, I might have grabbed that end table, and there was a lamp there that probably I could have rewired and different things. But I can see this being a potential of a good little place. So, and I live maybe 2 miles from it, so that can be like a go take my shipping or go to storage or something and check out my new little honey hole. See if we find anything. The next time I'll try and take you along. Let you see what I get. Or I might take a still shot if I go another day and just attach it to this video. We'll see. Sounds like fun. Just figured I'd come by the bins on the way home and look. Some of the shelves are pretty bare, but I found a few things. Got a couple of shiny brights. And I got a Furby knockoff. This is called a Grumbly. Found a Sony Dream Machine. A few other things, little odds and ends. I got me a little box of miniatures and stuff going on here. We'll look those up. These right here I spotted. They're marked Japan, but the paint on them is just really bad. These normally would sell for probably around 10 a piece, something like that, but the paint's too bad. But we'll search around, we'll see what we can find. Singamajig needs batteries. Found a Play School. He's worth about 15 plus shipping. Sony controller. I'm going to put it back together, but this is Hot Wheels. I'm going to look through the cars. Wii controller. Odds and ends. Cool little 1964 glasses. Those are cool. It's only 2. I don't know. Found these. I pulled out about 4 that were odd shaped. Look, all of these are handmade, but most of them are this shape. Pulled out a few that looked a little odd. outfit for my baby, my grandbaby. It's cute. Moving on. They're bringing them out pretty fast today. I figured I'd pop in Liquidation Plus next door. They're doing a $10 fill-a-bag. We get to fill IKEA bags for $10. Not on the shelf items, just in the bins. Let's see what they've got. Well, as you can see, the lighting's not great. I didn't go to the trouble to set these up back here, but you'll get the idea. I figured I would show you the things that I got at Liquidation Plus and also at um, the Goodwill bins. I did get a couple of things at the U-Haul place, but it was like cups and things like that that I can sell on eBay. Not anything significant, not anything real special, $10 or under. I'll show you first the things that I got at Liquidation Plus. Now keep in mind that what I shopped for was not necessarily high dollar items. It was filling in a IKEA bag. They have those for your shopping carts, and so we can fill those. And sometimes they'll do a fill a bag for $20. Sometimes it's 15. Today it happened to be 10 while I was there. I got finished at the bins, and then I headed over there, and a lot of the things had been picked up by the time that I got there because they ran a sale that day and all of that kind of stuff. But and you may hear a baby crying in the background every once in a while. We're home for the 4th of July, so I've got the whole family home today. Well, except for my son-in-law. He's working today, but uh, when I went in, they had done like their dollar, everything in the bins was $1 as far as like the Liquidation Plus bins. And so they had scooted out a lot of things, and then they decided to run a $10 fill a bag, and I'm on their Facebook site, so I saw that come through, and I decided to go over there. So these are just some of the things. I got multiples of some of these things, and I'm talking about the bag was just overflowing for $10, so keep that in mind. I got 2 pairs of these little house shoes, and of course all of these things are, like Target returns. Sometimes they get Amazon returns. Depends on, what their pallets are. But I got 2 pairs of these. I got several of 2 different kinds of fidget spinners. I got one set of these because I thought they were funky. It's like string lights, hamburger and stuff like that. I just figured that was fun. We're filling bags, so you're gonna fill it up. I think I got about 4 sets of these. I'm gonna put those in my booth, and I'm gonna go ahead and put those in probably around the end of August, something like that, if not before. If I've got room, I'll go on and put them in before, but those sell at holiday time. I've got those, and I got 3 or 4 of these sets. And of course, it's got the 2 from on top, but the little sets. This one, this top one, without messing it up, says Be Merry. Let's see. I've got another one over here. I can't remember what this one says without messing my package up. One of them says Cup of Cheer, Snuggle Season. Here we go. This one says Be Merry, Be Bright. So I figured something like that would be cute and it would sell. They had some these. I actually just picked up a couple of these. I figured I would try and sell those on Marketplace. They still sell. I've sold 1 or 2 in the past. Got 2 or 3 of these, which is the Hero World DC Comics. I've got such a glare. Is that any better? Probably not. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you, the details of anything, but you get the idea. But you can see the clearance sticker that's still on there. So I got about 6 or 7, 8 of these, which is the Pour Over Coffee. These are selling in a box. This actually just has the sleeve on all of these. That's how they were displayed in the store, I imagine. But a lot of these are selling for around $15 plus shipping. I'm going to try and sell a few of these things. It's always easier on Marketplace. You get the cash money, they just bring it to you. You don't have to worry about returns, all that kind of stuff. So a lot of these things, I put them up on there first, and then, if they don't sell there and it seems to be eBay worthy or something like that, I'll want to put it on eBay unless it's something that I feel like I can get a whole lot more for there. Got 2 or 3 of these little Jurassic Park sets, little play sets. I'm sorry, I'm trying to avoid the glare, and I just don't know that that's going to happen today. I only found one of these, but I did get one of those. I've sold those before. Little melt packs, melty bead packs. And I found one of these, one of the adult coloring books for the Golden Girls. It's a little messed up at the back or whatever. I may end up keeping that because I do things like this. My granddaughter does. She likes stuff like that. We try to find things. I have a real struggle finding things to do that I allow myself to do that's not work related. So I'm I make resolutions. This is just so that you know. I make New Year's resolutions. Some people do, some people don't. But I make New Year's resolutions. Usually the one at the first of the year has to do with business more than personal. And at the halfway part of the year, which is now in the last week, I make personal resolutions. And I have determined that I will use my library more. I'm an avid reader anyway, but it's mostly online and it's mostly work related. I would say 99.9% of everything that I do is work related. And that's just who I am. I'm a type A. This is what I do. But I have determined that I'm going to make myself even read some good fiction. I've joined a couple of book groups that are on Facebook, for the good, clean women's books, things that women would be interested in reading, and then also just some general, old classics, things like that. I'm going to pull some of those back in. I used to be able to read a really intense book a day. I mean, there was never a reason that I couldn't, even around work schedule and things like that. I was just such an avid reader, and I am so fast at reading. But I've gotten away from doing a lot of things that are just purely for pleasure. And so that's the kind of resolutions that I make halfway through the year. So that is one of my resolutions. And I said all that to say some of the resolutions that I've made is even things like the coloring book type of thing. Just sit down, if I want to watch TV while I'm doing it or something like that. But I try to not do anything that I multitask. I'm a huge multitasker. And I have to make myself concentrate on what I've ever got at hand, And so when I sit down to do that, I might put on music or something like that, but not anything that visually will take me away from whatever the task is at hand or whatever I'm doing. As you can see, and that was a rabbit, but anyway. Let's see if I can do it. $10.70. That's what I spent. $10. So that was a good buy because, like I said, it was multiples of several of these things. Now, what I got at the bins, I'll just show you if I can go through it pretty quickly. I do a lot of junk drawer lots. Sometimes I'll do them and they're kid related. Sometimes I'll do them and they're transportation related or something like that. Sometimes it'll be all jewelry. It kind of depends on what it is. And so I pick up any of the older Hot Wheels and Matchbox cars and things like that. I don't pick up all of them, but I do pick up a significant portion. Got a crying baby in the background. Y'all probably can't hear her, but I definitely can. She mad. That's all right. She mad. She wanted to go to the fireworks already. But any of the little Hong Kong ones, some of the older ones especially, I'll pick those up. If it's not anything that's worthy to be listed either in a small lot or individually on eBay, then I just throw these into a box, and periodically I'll just put them in my junk drawer lot. I usually will list those for, depends on what's in it, but usually around $15.99, something like that, plus shipping or best offer. And consistently, I'll take $10 a piece for them. And it will truly be pieces of things. It can be, jewelry that is missing stones. But I consistently sell those. And that's something that pays for the box lots that I buy at some of these yard sales and stuff. So that's always helpful. I got that. I don't mean to dip out of the picture, but I haven't taken things out of the bag. So I picked up, on occasion, I'll pick up some of the play school type things. This may end up with Marjorie, my newest grandbaby. She can never quit crying today. She might actually get to play with this once I clean it up. It does play. I don't know that it will. It probably needs batteries, but, well, I hear it trying. But these sell for, if I remember right, I looked it up, and it was around $15 to $20, some 15 to 18, something like that, plus shipping. So some of the play school, Fisher Price, those type of things, it surprised you, like the apple, the Jingle Bell apple and stuff like that. They're selling for around 25. So, be sure and look these up. These are something worth throwing in a box. They're hard plastic. It's going to be something that's going to ship well usually. So I picked that up. And I'll just give you a total on things like that kind of thing would be $1 at my binge. They charge by the pound for clothing and soft goods, and then they charge by the piece. They're just one that charges by the piece. Any of the small electronics like this, they charge $2 for. It's a Sony Dream Machine. I plugged it in. They do have a plug-in place. Everything works fine. No problem on that. That's probably around $15 so. I don't look those up because I know Sony sells. Scott keeps telling me that. So the bitter picker, so I figure, he's right. I got a pile of these. Not because they were necessarily worth anything, but they had a whole pile of the Scenic South, and they're all vintage, of course, 67, there's a book in there, 67 up to 70-ish, something like that. I'm gonna probably lot these up and try and sell them as is. These were put out by Chevron, through Chevron, through some of the local gas stations and things like that. Like this one's in Oxford, Mississippi. I'm close to Oxford, down here not too far, about 40 minutes away. And so all of these, I believe, all of them that I looked at came from Oxford and came from the same station. Somebody just donated those. They got those there. But I thought they were interesting. I want to look through them. Let's see if I can pull one out. I want to look through them anyway, because that was, I was 7 years old in 67. I mean, I just gave away my age, but whatever. But it's got a lot of the, the black and white pictures, the things that were indicative of the day. It's got some of the places to visit type of things, whether it's in this area or whether it's in, like this one's in Kentucky, I think, or whatever. Just interesting pictures and things. But I've also started cutting up things, some of the things like this, the illustrations and graphics from old children's books and things like this, and I'm selling kits similar to what I do with the junk drawers. I cut up a kit and make kits of things that are interrelated for junk journals or scrapbooking type of things, and I do packets and do those on Etsy and also on eBay. Don't know if that can go on Poshmark yet. I know that they have the home decor that's opened up, and I really haven't read about that or whatever, but I'll sell them wherever I can sell them, even on Marketplace. I can put them out there, and I do like a Victorian one and a vintage 70s one and whatever, and that way people can buy that, and then they can compile their own junk journals and make their own junk journals out of those. So that's a good way to get rid of paper goods. Pick this up. My littles haven't read about Kit Carson yet, but I thought the boys in particular would like this. Pick that up for them. All the books are 50 cents if they're children's books. I always pick up the Berenstain Bears, especially the hardbacks. I'm not so much on the soft backs, but I picked these up. These will sell pretty well in a set. The Berenstain Bears are pretty good buy. Alright. Found a Polaroid land camera. And all of this came from the bins. There was a whole bin full of what I thought when I very first glanced in there, it looked like Pine Derby cars, but it wasn't. It was just handmade, hand-cut little cars. I only purchased like 4 of them. There was a bazillion in there. But I picked out ones that I thought that I could paint some hippie flowers on, like this type of thing, and put those out. This is the little old-timey car, and there was only one of those. I'll probably keep this one, and I'll probably put Got Junk in Our Trunk or something, because my Facebook site has me buy an old car that's similar. Well, it's an old truck, really, but it's got that same vibe or whatever, and I'll probably keep something like this and put it with my desk stuff. But got that. I've sold these little radios several times. That's a little radio. I think the last one that I sold was around $20, something like that. It's been a little while, but you know, if he plays, which I took a chance on him at $1, you know, he's going to play probably. All of them have that I brought home from there. So I got that. Another one of my little cars. Anybody that knows me knows I like the boho type of look, and most of my room is very eclectic and boho like the style of things. And you know, I've got grandchildren things too, but I got myself a rug for my bathroom, but that was thrown in there. At first, from the back, I thought this was going to be a Furby, but it's actually one of the Grumblies. They don't sell quite as well, and they don't sell quite as high, but they will sell. So I got one of those. Mercedes-Benz. I usually will pick up Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Ferrari. Jeep will sell. You know, it's a little lesser car, but Jeep, those type of things. I'll usually pick up those things because they'll sell. You got diehards that buy all the stuff for their type of vehicle. This right here, it's written on the outside, but it's a soprano recorder, you know, like the student type recorder. Found one of those, and it was like $1, you know, is what they charge you for those. This little game is missing one boat, but they have another little magnet piece on the inside. I guess that they decided would take the place of it, but it is Magnetic Naval Battle. This was 50 cents. You just do, it's got instructions with it and everything, but it's got the little boats. The other one has like a little train looking something, whatever. And then these are the markers, you know, for whether you've hit them. It's kind of like pre-battleship game. So I got that. I'm not doing clothes. I'm trying to get out of the clothes market. Although I do have some that one of my photographers gave me. She's gone back to school and different things, and I've got a different situation with the other one that I'm going to do some other things with. I don't really care for clothes unless it's vintage, unless it's something just you just can't pass it by, or it's like the old concert t-shirts. There's certain things that I'm going to sell, but 3/4 of what I'm doing right now, it is the hard goods, and it's coming in and it's going right back out, and I don't get returns on those unless it's broken in shipping. When people buy something like that, they want to keep it. That's something that they like. I sell a lot of women's jewelry, you know, things like that, like brooches and pins in particular. But I will, on occasion, I'll buy certain type of things or whatever. This was one of them. I sell a lot of these ski sweaters, and especially I've got a rack at one of my booths, so I can put some of these out at winter time or whatever. And if it sells, it sells. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I've only got like 75 cents in it. So this is a Rogue brand. Not anything extremely high dollar, but decent. So I got that. And it's wool. It doesn't have any holes in it or anything unless I just missed something. This has little pants with it. I bought that for Marjorie. It was brand new. There's the pants. I buy these macrame. This one isn't fancy. It doesn't have the big owl head on it or butterfly or something like that. Those sell really well. I mean, you can get on up to like $50 for those things. This one will probably sell for around 15 to 20. It's the old macrame, and people still buy those, believe it or not. They like the 70s vibe. Also, and I just put these in a tray because it'd be easier. I found one weed controller. Only one. I found things to put in my junk drawer type of thing. I found a few of these type of things. I bought this pack of cards. I do buy a lot of the bridge sets and things like that. I'll tell you what's selling the most of these card sets and things like that, unless it's just something highly unusual in a bridge set or something like that. They are the packs of cards like they used to give on the flights, Delta. Some of the airlines used to give those, and it'd be New York City or, you know, wherever it was that you were going or not going or whatever it was. Those will sell, you know, it's not real high dollar, but I figure if I've got a quarter in something, which is usually what I pay for them, a quarter to 50 cents or something like that. I just sold one day before yesterday for $7.25 on a best offer, $7.25 plus $4 shipping because I shipped it first class to them. And you know, I mean, you can't beat something like that. That's a good return on your money. But I do buy several of these little things, and I'll lock these up. This is play food. I like the older ones than these the best because they're going to sell the best. But any of this type of stuff, even if it's Dollar Tree style of stuff, kids will buy it. Well, people will buy it for their kids. I hope kids aren't buying it. They aren't supposed to be using credit cards. Like Subway, you know, anything, any of the little peaches and all of this. The ones that sell the most are going to be the ones that have the name brand on it, like Dole or, you know, something along those lines. Those are going to sell the best, but these do sell, so I do them in a lot. I found Tigger, and I thought, oh, that's cool, you know. I don't know even what he says. He may say Disney on him. Yeah, he says Disney on him. I didn't even look that far. I thought, oh, he's cool, and he hasn't been all chewed up like by a dog or a kid or something like that, you know, or whatever. And do you know that I found all four of these in 4 different bins? So I don't know if they got moved around, but I found Eeyore, and I found Winnie, and found Piglet. I wish I'd found Rabbit, because I always say I'm Rabbit. My friend Becky is Eeyore. That's why we're friends. She needs me. And then I pick up, depends on what it is, I pick up things like this that are the presidents of our country type things. Sometimes I'll throw those in a junk drawer a lot. They're not necessarily a freestanding, oh, this is going to sell for a ton of money or anything. This one goes through Obama. But let's see, 2002. So it's not quite vintage, but when it gets to be vintage, I may switch it over if it hasn't sold, you know, in the next year, whatever. My junk drawer hasn't sold or whatever, or I haven't moved it around to other junk drawers or made larger lots or something like that, and this item hasn't gone out, I may pull it out at that time and then sell it as a standalone because I can put it on Etsy and stuff at that point. There's those. Now, my Best Buy was this. I came up to a bin and I saw just the corner of this case, and I went, that's a musical instrument case. And I was hoping that there would be something in it. When I went to pick it up, it was really heavy. And the shape of it, I was like, I don't know what that would be. It just, you know, it didn't go through my mind. And I'm thinking, it's not a trumpet. It's not some kind of horn, you know. And it was in this shaped box, or this shaped case, like this. And I thought, I don't know what that is. And I opened it up and said, hot diggity dog. See if I can even put it down. a moment. Do that. I'm going to show you this part too. I ended up with a silver tone. Looks like brand new. I've actually played it some. I used to play. Not going to do it today. Used to play. I just heard somebody say, "Oh, come on, Rhonda." No, I'm not going to play. This one's a silver tone Oscar Schmidt. Looks like brand new. I mean, it doesn't even look like it was even used. And a lot of times they're used very gently. Sometimes you play them up like this. Some play it as a lap harp, you know, that type of thing. But that was down in there. It has the tuner with it. The tuner handle was broken, but you can still use the tuner because it's got let me show you. It should have an extended piece right here, but this you can still use, and I would just disclose something like that. I try and sell it on Marketplace first. Anything like that, I don't want to ship unless I have to. But it's got the original Bakelite picks that came with it. It's different. You know, you got thumb picks. You got the thumb picks, got the finger picks. You know, usually I did it on the middle finger, you know, where I could do some other stuff with my others. Soft pick that's in there. All of that was in there, along with the little pieces of the handle that broke off. That was in there. And then it was just so cool because when I lifted up, I saw these and they were just kind of over in the corner. And the case was real clean and everything. It just had the dents in there from it being in there, you know, over time or whatever. But then when I lifted it up, all of this was up under there. It had the original tag, has the original instructions on how you cut the frets. You can actually cut these pieces and put underneath it, and it's an instructional one, has never been used. It has music like Home on the Range and Wayfaring Stranger, all those kind of things. It's got an instructional book here. And all of this looks brand new. I think it was bought by somebody that already knew how to play, you know, that they didn't need all of this. It's got the customer order form still with it, which is very cool. Love this. Silvertone. They did this Oscar Schmidt Silvertones exclusively for Sears. I have sold a mandolin that was a Silvertone, and I have sold it was a guitar, but it was a really specific guitar, and I wish I had looked up the name again because I wasn't real familiar with it. I had to do a lot of research on it. Ended up selling it for $300 or $400 or something like that. And the lady had it at a estate sale that I went to for like $3, something like that. Unbelievable. So you always buy instruments. You know, instruments will sell. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter what it is. Some will sell better than others, but instruments always sell because they are extremely expensive, and a lot of people will buy them for the kids, especially like clarinets and horns and things like that. People will buy those. The kid will try it for a while, doesn't like it, ends up going on to something else, and then you've got an instrument, you know. But it came with this. This, for those that don't know who Mother Maybelle Carter is, that's Johnny Cash's mother-in-law. That was June Carter Cash's mom. And she was part of the original Carter family, you know, that sang and all of that. Well, she promoted this particular one for Sears. She did that. And so it's still got the record in here. Probably hasn't been played. If it has, it's got a couple of little things on it. So this probably has been played. My guess is, you know, that this has been played. I have not played it yet, but I probably will. And play it for my grandchildren. We are bluegrass diehards. And so they probably will love hearing something like this. But that was in there. And of course, all the original information about her and things like that were in there. The seal's been broken, so it's obviously been, you know, pulled out and probably played at some point in time. But that was in there as well. The record itself, I haven't looked it up recently, but this type of thing, the instructional ones like that, and especially by any of the Carter family like that, they usually sell for anywhere from depending on condition, like $5 to $12, something like that, just for that. I paid $5 for this thing, and I was so excited when I got it. So that's one of the better buys that I've made. It's probably worth, in the condition that it's in, and if I throw in the record and keep everything, that was indicative of it with it, I can probably, on Marketplace, I can probably get around 150 for it, something like that. Mine can get slightly higher plus shipping, up to 199, on eBay right now. Depends on what it is, but that particular model of silver tone, they did a couple of different silver tones, but that particular one is going for around that. And as you can see, here's my receipt. Let's see if I can get it to focus. But I paid $34. I rounded up. I don't often do that, but I did. I felt generous that day. So I don't often do that because I give my money other places other than Goodwill. But so it was $34 for everything that you saw. And of course, I had multiples of some of the things, like the cars. I had more cars and things like that. So it ended up being a very good day. I will end the video here. It's probably really long. I know that the haul portion of it is 30 minutes, so I may even break this up into two. We'll see, what ends up happening. So hope everybody has had a happy 4th of July by the time that you see this. I'm sure that the holiday will be over. I'll probably upload it later today. I hope everyone had a safe and happy 4th, and we thank God for our country, and that we get to live in a place that we can go out and we can buy junk and resell it. It's an exciting time to be a reseller. It really is. Hope everyone has a good rest of your week, and I'll see you next time. Happy junking.